So etiquette and culture are very important things, and we have to try to recreate that here in the midst of Soho. But it takes time. And if everybody wants to go to India, India is also becoming like Soho. So in a short time, you will also be faced with many Sohos in India. So where can you escape? So why not stay here and create the culture here? Right? So that others may also benefit. And secondly, the culture is absolutely important because it facilitates very easily the growth of devotion. That's why culture is important. Otherwise, it's very hard to focus on devotional life. We get distracted by sense gratification. But what to do? The culture is not there. So we not only create that culture by properly educating people about the etiquette and so on and so forth, but we also chant our rounds nicely, do our Krishna consciousness nicely, because ultimately, at the end of the day, that is what's going to count. There are many people in India who are very cultured, who have etiquette, but they're not devotees. They're pious people. They want to help. They're not into sinful life. But they're not really so serious about devotion either. So what's the use? So what's more important is Krishna consciousness. And as we go along in our Krishna consciousness, we have to work together to create that culture. And make people aware about the etiquette. Like when I was coming to Soho discussing with Brahmachari, yesterday I was joking in the class about how, right? The people in England don't seem to want to waste even a bit of cloth, or to make do with the bare minimum. Other things they waste, but when it comes to cloth they don't. So he was just, a devotee was telling me, where was I? What was the point? Culture. Anyway, I'll get back to it.
The point was to try to recreate the culture?
Yes, we're trying to recreate, and we are so far removed from that etiquette now. In this day and age, it's something completely alien for everyone. We just have no conception of it, right? And how can you suddenly just create a culture in this age of liberalism? And it's catching on real fast. In India also there's a movement for gay rights now. I don't think it's only here. It's all on the front page of the newspapers because, and the High Court gives a favorable verdict and everything, because the media is also controlled by these over-liberal people. The television, the newspapers, it's all splashing it all over the place, so that everyone is now thinking, okay. So it's coming everywhere. So we have to create within our institution first, among the society of devotees, a strong devotional fervor, with strong sadhana, most important. If our sadhana is strong, then everything else, we will get the time and the potency and the knowledge to do all these things, to set up the culture, train up people nicely. So culture is very, very important. We have to do it. But now, here and now, focus on the chanting, and then simultaneously try to create that. What is a brahmachari? How should he behave? What is a grihastha? People who come here in India, what I wanted to say was, yes, this devotee brahmachari was mentioning to me that in Vatican, he had gone to Vatican City one time. and they were about to enter the Vatican. They were standing in line, and it was a hot day. There was some lady in front of them who was quite inappropriately dressed. Appropriate for Soho, but not for Vatican. So they have a system or a custom there that they don't allow inappropriately dressed people to come. So they have cloaks ready. If someone comes and is not properly dressed, they say, wear the cloak. And she was protesting, you know, I've come from so far, this and that. I said, no, either you wear this or you go back. And they were very clear. So they want to preserve their culture. It's a holy place. They don't want people coming in there in this state of undress. What kind of spirituality can you expect in a place like that when people come in that consciousness? And what will be the effect on others? So also in our temples, it's becoming an issue because people come dressed also in all kinds of clothes, even in temples. They come dressed in shorts and, inside the temple they come. It's a very casual thing. And in the name of preaching, sometimes we are asked to tolerate it. Because then people get put off because this is a liberal age and they'll see you as fanatics. So it's very hard to just institute a culture here, a cut and paste job, You just can't cut and paste from 500 years ago, bring in a culture, put it here. Everyone should dress like this. It's hard. Even in India nowadays, it's hard to get ladies to cover their heads. It's hard to get ladies to wear saris. It's hard to have men to wear dhotis and kurtas. So it's there everywhere now. Material energy, Kali, personality of Kali is progressing very fast. So even in India, culture is rapidly disappearing. So we have to try to create what best we can over here. And if you're thinking of Krishna, Krishna will protect you. So if you serve Krishna in the battlefield, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur preferred to die in a battlefield, sitting, preaching. So for a devotee, it doesn't matter where he dies. Because if he's preaching, actively engaged in preaching the message of the Lord will protect him. Provided you have remained vigilant. Provided you are chanting your rounds nicely. Provided you are hearing properly. Provided you are humble. Provided you are dedicated completely for the service of the Lord. Then you have Krishna's protection. Right? So no fear. Even if you leave your body this very moment, Krishna is protecting you. Okay? Yes.
This is quite an interesting environment to try and cultivate the mode of goodness. This central London. And I was listening to one class and the devotee said that you can preach left and right, but if you don't have a strong rabbinical culture, there will be confusion. And you can see devotees have different levels of cleanliness, standards, or punctuality, things like this, punctuality, cleanliness, all this stuff. And then, so how can you kind of develop this rabbinical, because for some people it comes naturally, to be grateful, for some it's an alien thing, to tell others about rabbinical standards, it's not really conducive, somebody's too busy or,